So now that we've put good habits in place, the next step is you put good habits in place, you're keeping them in place. The next step is to determine how do we evaluate whether these habits are working the way that we want them to. I mean, obviously, we're human, we make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to think you've put a great habit in place, and it might not be as great as you thought. The other thing is, sometimes you put great habits in place, and even though you do everything absolutely right, things may not pay off for 2, 3 months down the road, right? I mean, so for example, I mean, you might get really good at asking for referrals, and you might do it for a month, and it might only result in one referral this month. But if you've got, if you've got a trail of homeowners that over the course of the last month that have posted your name and your phone number on a bunch of different, they post on Facebook, they posted on Nextdoor, they've posted on the HOA distribution list. It might, that might catch up with you 2 or 3 months down the road. You're asking for referrals, and now you've got kind of an army of people thinking about you. That might pay off 3 or 4 months down the road. That all of a sudden, the phone just starts ringing, right? Same thing with changing up your door knock or changing up any part of your process. It may take a while for that to really pay off, right? So what human nature is, a lot of times, our nature is that we want instant gratification, right? So if we've done all this work, we've made all these changes, and we don't get that instant gratification, we start feeling like we should change before we really should change. So, one of the things that comes along with this is kind of persistence, perseverance, and patience. Those 3 Ps are really critical to success. And so what we need to do is figure out, we've always got to evaluate our habits and our systems and processes. Are they working? If they're not working, we want to change them, right? But we also want to give them time to pay off. So when you make these changes, after you put, as you're putting them in place, you should also give yourself a date to evaluate them. It should be a logical date that you think, all right, this is when I'm going to evaluate whether this system or process is having the effect that I expect it to have. So first question is, what effect do you expect this system or process to have? And the second question is, think through, when should I get this result? Now, if you're new, if you're not an expert in the area, you're probably going to expect things to pay off too soon, right? Like there's typically, when you've been doing something for a long time, you start to realize all the different things that kind of get in the way of, of things happening. When you're brand new, you think, all right, it's simple. All I do is this, and all I got to do is X, and Y is going to happen. When you're old and bald like me, you start to realize, well, okay, yes, you should do X, but then there's going to be these 4 or 5 steps, and then Y is going to occur about this time, right? So as you guys are putting things in place, I want you to keep in mind what is an appropriate time frame. If it's something roofing related, if you're changing your habit, put together something on your calendar. So here's your start date on January 1. I'm starting this habit today, and by January 31st, I expect to see this results. Put that down, give me a call, and let's go over it. And let's think through whether it's, number one, is it the right habit to put in place? Is that the right effect to expect? And second, is that the right time frame? Maybe, if I'm going to tell you, if you do something today, you're not going to see it on your paycheck on January 31st. You're going to see it on your paycheck probably closer to February or March, right? Today being early January. But what I'm saying is, things aren't going to show up on your paycheck for 2 or 3 months because it takes a while for those things to take effect. So obviously, you want to see some things. You're going to want to see some results going forward. You don't want to do something for 3 months. So we'll talk about what things you should expect to see, what things, what are some results that show that we're having success, and let's evaluate those on a regular basis. The other thing is, when you are in the forest, you're in the middle of the fight. Sometimes it's not easy to see the results kind of through the fog of war, I guess. You're in it, you're emotionally tied to it. You want to see results right now. Sometimes you need someone with that detached point of view. I mean, just like you're analyzing your limiting behaviors. You're not the best person to analyze your limiting behaviors. Same thing with analyzing your results. Like, results may take time. Usually they do. That's results. So I want you to think rationally about what the time frame is. Preferably, give me a call. Let's talk it through. Let's talk about what's a reasonable time frame to kind of see these improvements and see these purposes. And the other thing is, guys, right now, I mean, you're probably, most of you guys should be about 3 or 4 weeks into your training program. A lot of you guys are brand new into either sales or selling roofs. So you're going to have a lot of variables you're playing with, right? There's going to be a lot of things that are improving. I mean, every day that you do this, your door knock is improving. Every day that you do this, your close is improving. You're becoming just more efficient at everything. So a lot of variables are improving all at the same time right now. So, just by, I mean, it's kind of like the first month that you do anything, your learning curve is straight up. You suck the first day. By the end of the first week, you're a ton better than you were day one, because you went from knowing absolutely nothing to knowing maybe 30% of what you need to know. But you still have a long way to go, right? Even though there was a massive improvement, there's still always room for improvement. So you guys are going to be playing with a lot of variables, trying to figure out what things to make better. Again, just let's, if it's roofing related, talk to me about what the proper time frame should be, what results you should look for, and when you should expect to see them. But at the end of the day, you want to make these decisions in a logical way, right? You don't want to do it for a month, start to feel frustrated, and make a decision out of frustration, because maybe the proper time frame to judge is 2 months, or maybe there's another variable we could look for to show that this is working or it's not working. But guys, I look at a lot of data, I look at a lot of performance day in and day out for salespeople. So there are more things that I can look. If you're keeping the right records in your CRM, there are more things that I can look at to show improvement, or if we're sliding backwards. Either one, we can look at it, figure it out, and see if we're moving in the right direction. But the important thing is, make these decisions logical, right? Make them logically. We want to make sure it's thought through, it's reasonable, and it's not driven by emotion, right? I don't want to throw my hands, get frustrated one day, have a little bit of aggravation, throw the hands in the air and say, this isn't working, throw everything out and give up, when you've been doing a bunch, a month of improvement and things of that nature. So make sure that the time frame you use to judge what you're doing is set logically. Set it, put it on a calendar, evaluate it with someone that has a more detached role, someone who's not emotionally involved in it, because emotionally, you're human. You're wired to want things instantly, and things don't happen that way. So using the calendar is a great way to keep yourself on track and make sure that you're looking at things logically.